Bobbywilliams. Bobby Williams. And another thing, you're probably wondering why I'm here. You're probably wondering who I am. My name is Bobby Williams. And another thing, Jason, I know how you met jazz. Hello. You're probably wondering who I am. My name is Bobby Williams. And what you just heard me play was an exercise taught to me by one of my mentors and great teachers, Mr. Jason Davis, AKA the mayor of South Dallas. I first met Jason actually through another musician. I heard Jalen Washington, the drummer, shout out to Jalen, and he told me I needed to get to South Dallas and hear the mayor of South Dallas. And sure enough, when I turned 21, I visited the infamous Sandaga 813 jam session, and that was my very first time hearing Jason Davis. And from that moment, I knew I had to get to what he was playing. It was something that I never seen before, and I have listened to quite a few musicians, but he is definitely one of one. And getting to know him over the years, I think one of the wildest facts that people don't know, even though he plays the saxophone, he's really a clarinet player. So that is something that I admire, a great woodwindist, a great human being, and just all around solid individual that has influenced me to continue and pursue what I'm doing in whatever facet that I'm doing it in. Just a few weeks ago, I was hanging around the corner here in Fort Worth. I was lucky to be invited to Nile City, which is one of the premier studios here in Fort Worth. Leon Bridges actually recorded his first album there, and quite a few other big musicians. But it was a blessing being able to see a real studio session, because a lot of musicians cannot translate what they play in the nightclubs to the studio. And with Jason, it's unique in the sense that he brings that studio feel to the live setting. And so I think one of the greatest things that I've learned from Jason is how to apply yourself in every musical setting. That's one of the greatest things, the greatest thing that I've learned from Jason, that if we're on a show and we're playing bebop, you play bebop. If we're playing hip hop, you play hip hop. If we're playing R&B and fourth, you keep what's going on with the band going. You don't want to bring, for example, I'm the son of a contractor. You don't want to bring the wrong tool to the job. When you come to a certain job site, you want to be prepared with those tools. And that's something I've definitely learned from Jason, that when I was in that studio session, I was able to see the difference between the professionals and the amateurs. Because to read sheet music on spot and nail it is something that is not easy at all. So the beautiful thing, I've done both with Jason. I've been lucky enough to improvise. He's taught me how to slow down the music. One of the very first lessons, I was a little astounded, because traditionally most metronomes, which I encourage all musicians and students to please practice with a metronome. But most conventional metronomes, the slowest tempo is 30 beats per minute. I remember Jason had me go to YouTube because YouTube, you can get any tempo. And we did 10 BPM, which if anybody knows, you can go type that in now, that's very slow. And so one of the main things we did was work on slowing the music down and really learning that if you can't play it slow, you certainly cannot play it fast. And so that's one of the greatest things that I still practice to this day. Jason, you've definitely rubbed off on me beyond being a musician, but just a human being. He's encouraged me to use my research skills, where just last week we were talking about the great composer, musician, human being, and saxophonist Benny Golson, where a lot of people may know Benny Golson, but he encouraged me to go deeper into all the compositions of Benny. And this could be said with whoever your favorite musicians or artists be, and Cole Porter, it could be John Coltrane, but with Benny Golson, what we were discussing, a lot of people will learn a few of Benny's songs, but not know the context that Benny existed within. For example, Benny grew up with the legendary John Coltrane in Philadelphia. Benny was a member of Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. Benny also wrote a lot of standards such as Killer Joe, Stablemates. But the beautiful thing that I've learned from Jason is when you dig into a certain song, it's important to know the context of what the song was created within. We're here to celebrate the great Jason Davis. And another thing, the main thing that Jason taught me in our very first lesson that a lot of saxophonists ignore is playing on just your mouthpiece. If you cannot get a good sound on your mouthpiece, it's not going to translate when you put it on this. In his words, if we're being honest, this is just a big whistle. If you can't control what you're doing here, such as if you want to reach things such as altissimo, you need to be able to control and play a full scale on the mouthpiece. I'll demonstrate this from something I learned directly from Jason that transformed my sound and my playing, and it got me a lot more gigs. Something as simple as this. You could be in the car when you're driving and just practice. Now, for a lot of folks, that's going to get very annoying. But for you, you can do this in the car, you can do this in the park, you can do it wherever you wish. But just this simple exercise will transform your playing. And if you're struggling to hit overtones, altissimo, it will make your sound pop. So thank you, Jason. You have a world of knowledge, and thank you for everything that you continue to share with the world. Love you. Jason, I know how you met jazz.